Now we have the 2-year-olds. A lot of people wondering, when are they in? Where are they going? What are they doing? As you should. And this is the time of year to exactly ask those questions. So let's get right to it. Almost there, boss. Is jogging, getting closer to training. As I said, still a little peggy, a little ginger on those hind ankles. The OCD's taken out of. Something left front bothering them. But again, getting them back on track will be important. And this is part of the process. So rather than 4 weeks and start training, maybe it's 5 or 6 weeks and start training for this guy. He'll be ready to go at some point in the new year. Amor Diener, another horse that has to come back into Ohio. I don't think he has yet. No, him and the trotting filly from Pennsylvania last year, Tipsy and Dixie's sister. It's bugging me. She's got to come back in. She's got to come back in from the field also. So Amor Diener will be back in this week to Ohio. Arches Rainbow, I talked about her in Harry's Burn. If you missed it, here's the Coles notes. The throat is coming good. I suspect by this week we'll get a green light from the surgeon. Gwyn, little tie back done on that. She didn't get a paralyzed palate. There's laxity on the left side. It's a maturity thing. It's a baby thing. And I thought, and we all hoped, that she would grow out of it and it would come forward. But it's posing a little bit of a problem. And because it's a little lax, it's actually causing an ulcer on there, which in turn could have been something a little more serious. So we are going to have a little procedure done to fix that up. But from what I can see on the track from the filly, she looks amazing. So I'm perfectly okay with that. Better Be Sawyer will be ready to go soon. She looked good on the track yesterday. I don't know how much Harry's been with her. I'm going to say 2.8, 2.10, but she looked really, really good on the track yesterday. Blue Bayou Deal will come back in, I guess, second or third week in December from Kentucky. Her Unbeatable Kemp, Garden State Deal, those horses, I assume, will go to Ohio. I know Amy is angling something fierce for Unbeatable Kemp to come back to Ontario. He might, but I believe you're going to see, at least at the start, Blue Bayou Dio and Garden State Dio end up at Northfield Park. Bomb Hugger will also end up at Northfield Park in the next couple of weeks to start jogging back. We can bring these horses back to train them, but keep in mind, Northfield Park's probably one of the best kept and fastest half-mile tracks in this solar system. So having them there really isn't the end of the world. These are horses that already race, so just put the work into them, put the work into them, put the proper amount of work into them, and then when it's time to spark them up, that won't be a problem. Century Invictus is coming back in today to Harry Polton's Burn. Confederate Cruiser jogging in Ohio, looks fine. Duke Dio raced good last night. As I said to everybody, I was happy with him. First over against aged horses for a 2-year-old is not an easy thing to do. I wasn't sitting in. I was moving him. The horse in the front looked weak. I did go by him, but 4 of them picked me off, 1 on the inside and 3 from the outside, halfway down the lane. But he raced good, showed some tenacity. Isa 10 is jogging in Ohio. She looks good. Garden State Dio, as I said, will be coming back second or third week. Second week, I believe. Yeah, we'll bring them back second week from Kentucky. We'll bring those horses back. Grace will come back in second or third week in December. Granite Hill's going now. Looks good at Ohio, I've been told. I'm interested to see how he trains on Wednesday. Hill of Magic is swimming. She'll continue to swim throughout, probably right through into February, March, until that bone heals up properly in her foot. Kathy with an Eye is jogging in Ohio and looks good from what I'm told. Massive Profit is at Mario's Barn right now and jogging. It looks very good. He's a horse where if a couple of Mario's horses come back in over the next week or so, we may end up moving Massive Profit out of there. I might just take him over to the Top Barn for a bit, but that won't be for at least 2-3 weeks probably. Matt's MVP, from what I've been told, is going good. We'll see how good he's going on Wednesday. As I said, I'll be going with him. Of Tom will be coming back in. 1, 2, Skip a Few coming back in. All these horses will be returning very, very soon. Peanut Butter and Jelly is in Mario's Barn right now. She looks good on the track. I can't wait to see how she races in the new year. Prairie Fire, he's getting very close. Him and Rose Above It are very close. I want to see how close on Wednesday. I'd like to go mount 2.5, 2.6, and then after, just watch them, see how they eat their lunch, see how they behave, and then reflect on how they trained, how they recovered, and then we'll know where their stamina, where their cardio, so to speak, is shortly thereafter. Procrastinator's back in now. I saw him briefly last week when I was in Ohio. He looks really, really good. Purple Aura, as I said, coming back in next week. Renegade Gypsy coming back in next week. Resolute Bay is back in now in Jason's Barn We'll see how if he stays in Jason's barn first, and secondly, how he looks in the new year. Rose above it, very, very close to racing, I believe. I'll tell you how close after Wednesday. Slim Jimmy will be back in a week or so from Ohio into Northfield Park. Stonebridge Dolce is there now. I haven't gotten a report on Stonebridge Dolce. I know they haven't started training her, just jogging her, but I'm curious to see how she's behaving. She can be crotchety sometimes. Is she going to come home and race here? Is she going to stay over there? I don't know yet. We're going to find out soon enough. Stonebridge Acadi looks great. I suspect he's getting a little closer too. I don't know how much Mario's been with him. I'm going to guess 25, something like that. We'll see how he is in the next coming weeks into the new year. Sweet on Pete will be returning soon. Now, 3 Point Blue Chip won't be returning soon. 3 Point Blue Chip is at Blue Chip Farms right now. Where he comes back to, I don't know yet. I don't know that I'll bring him back to Canada. He may go straight to a top barn in the U.S., but we'll see how that works out over the next, listen, he's going to have 2.5 months off, so we get lots of time to talk about it. Taiwan on, there's our girl. She's coming back next week from Pennsylvania to Northfield Park. Tioga Sunshine also coming back in next week. Twinbee Habanero, as I said, I'll let you know after Wednesday what situation we're at with him, where we're at with him. I'd like to have him ready for the 1st of January. I think that stake starts like the 3rd week of January, so I'd like to have a start or two in. It would be nice. Twinkle in Her Eye is in at Harry's barn now. She looks fine on the track. Unbeatable Kemp, as I said at the start of this video. Amy's hard angling for Unbeatable Kemp to come back to Ontario. He probably will. We'll see where he ends up in the next few weeks. Voyage of Ice and Fire is in Ohio, as I said. A real heartbreaker last year. We had such a great year. We didn't have many heartbreaks to talk about. Will de Win Hanover getting injured was one. Voyage of Ice and Fire and his extremely lackluster performance all year was a real sticking point, a real sore spot in real thorn in my side, so to speak, all year. So he's on thin ice, and he'd better come back a little bit better than he ended up 2021. Will de Win Hanover, as I said, training back now. James said a little bit on the right line. Is that a little tentative? Is she a little tentative on that foot still? I know structurally it's fine, and she's going to need some concussion, much like my wrist was, right? Just because you got the cast off doesn't mean you're ready to rock. It takes time. It takes some work. Same with horses. So do we need to put a bar shoe on her to train her back, especially with the track a little hard? Maybe. It's a possibility. Maybe we will. And World for Two, he's back in now in Mario's barn. 3-year-olds and aged horses coming up in just a minute.